Hi there, you're with English Coach, and today I'm here to talk to you about admitting errors. Well, as you know, if you've been watching my programs, I talk a lot about improving things in yourself. And my ideas or my philosophies revolve around things that help us become more honest, more real, dealing with the reality of this world that we live in to get higher performance or to get to a higher level. Today, this subject that we're talking about is quite controversial, even though people don't really admit it. Um, Most people avoid looking at or admitting their mistakes. Today's theme is exactly that, admitting error, or in the case of most people, not admitting error, and what happens when we don't admit error. So, the first question is, why do people avoid admitting error? What is it about it that is so terrible? And if it's just a small mistake, why would you pretend that you didn't do it, or that it wasn't such a big thing? In general, people do this. And the answer is that most people learn from their school days that they don't want mistakes or foolish things to be associated with their identity. So they fight very hard to make sure that there is no connection between who they are and the mistakes that they make. But they do that in a way that sometimes disallows learning. The next question is, how does this happen? How do people get conditioned into thinking that their mistakes are the end of the world and their mistakes will define who they are? One word, and it's very, very simple: society. It's very cliche to blame society for everything, but if you look in a neutral way at society, you can understand because it happens in every part of our society. It happens in the classroom when someone puts up their hand and answers a question, and their answer was incorrect in a way that was amusing for the rest of the class and even the teacher, perhaps. And people laugh, and that person feels like a bag of dog turd, but needs to kind of look at what they did if they want to improve. But often they'll pretend that that never happened. In some cases, completely trying to wipe it out from their memory. Society's perception of mistakes is one of foolish things. Oh, you made a mistake, you are foolish, or you're clumsy, or you're not as intelligent. They take these small examples of failure and apply them to the people in general. They make judgments about who the person is and what their capabilities are in school and society. Mistakes mean humiliation. So you make a mistake on the sports field, you make a mistake in the classroom, you make a mistake at work. Uh, it's humiliating getting laughed at, knowing that everybody just witnessed your stupid mistake. So, what is the crux of this? What is the main point that I'm getting at today? Well, the main point that I want to get at today and really talk to you about is the fact that when we make these mistakes, wherever it be, if we're working for someone, if we're in our own business, but other people are there witnessing us, if we're in the school or on the sports field, it's all the same thing. If we make a big mistake and focus all of our attention, all of our energy onto hiding or trying to reduce the intensity of that mistake, we put our focus on those things rather than investigating what went wrong. when we cannot investigate what went wrong because we're too ashamed or too humiliated or too focused on trying to hide the mistake, we don't actually improve, or we cannot actually learn from that because we didn't investigate it. We just investigated ways in which we could reduce or hide or redirect the attention of other people. And that doesn't give us any kind of bonus. That doesn't bring any value to our lives. It just helps us to practice being clumsy at whatever it is that we made a mistake in, and dishonest at trying to redirect people's attention somewhere else. It's very interesting. The next point I'd like to make is your reaction right now, which is, wow, it's very easy of you to say that we should all admit our mistakes, but that's not the same when your job is on the line and you've got a family to feed at home. And I would say, interesting point. Do you want me to tell you that you are right? Well, probably you are that kind of person who likes to hear that a lot, that you are right, but you're not right, okay? And probably I'm not even right. There's always a better solution. I believe that. But in this case, you're not right because admitting a mistake to other people in a formal environment, like your meeting room or the office or even at school, wherever you are, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to change anything. It doesn't necessarily improve you as a person. The only person that you need to admit the mistake to is you. Okay? The next point is admitting the mistake to yourself is key if you have the intention of correcting yourself. If you really want to become the person who corrects yourself and becomes something else, something better than yesterday, something stronger, a person who's more willing to transform and evolve in this world that is transforming and evolving as we speak, I would think, what kind of person has a better chance at survival? Someone who investigates their mistakes and adapts their approach, or someone who goes around hiding their mistakes even from themselves? Okay? The place we often admit mistakes, uh, the place we often admit mistakes to another person and ourselves should be personal relationships. So you admit the mistake to yourself and you admit the mistake to your husband or your wife or your boyfriend or your girlfriend, depending on how serious your relationship is. Notice how redundant a relationship is. If one person, let's say you for example, believes that you are the teacher in the relationship and the other person is the person learning from you because you are masterful and they are full of error. How redundant is that? Isn't a relationship about opening up and looking at your own errors and being able to share and work on those errors with the person that you care about most? Or should you need to hide those things and pretend that you're at another level? Really question that, because not admitting you are wrong in a relationship is fatal. Is fatal. Outside of your personal relationship, the only person that it matters to is yourself. But when you live with another person, they can already see what's going on. So be careful about that. Admitting that you're wrong in a relationship is absolutely empowering and absolutely fantastic. Admitting your mistakes to yourself and investigating them the things you do wrong at work, the things you do wrong in sport or in your studies. These are the things that are going to help you go forward, go to the next step and advance in your career or whatever area you're working on. Thank you for joining with me today for this video. I hope that you like, subscribe, and even write a comment for me down below, okay? And I'll see you on my next video. Thanks.